How's it going? This is the Tree of Woe Show, Money in the Bank 2012 predictions. Oh, it's time. All 4 matches will be predicted here. But Jake is not here, obviously. I mean, he's not chilling there. But I do have his written down, obviously. So we will jump into it, starting with, as all Money in the Banks do, the SmackDown, or as they call it now, the World Heavyweight Championship Money in the Bank ladder match, contract for the world, whatever. You got Damian Sandow, Tyson Kidd, Santino Marella, Christian Tensai, Cody Rhodes, Dolph Ziggler, and Cara. Who do I want to win this match? Dolph Ziggler. Did I pick him? No. Did Jake pick him? No. Jake is going with Tyson Kidd. He's a Tyson Kidd guy. Some guys are Paul Heyman guys. Jake's a Tyson Kidd guy. Do I think it's possible Tyson Kidd could win? Actually, yes. I mean, if you've noticed on the WWE.com the last little while, they've been featuring Tyson Kidd bank on the kid. Tyson Kidd does this. He's been getting matches. He's been winning matches. So obviously you can't really say no one has a chance when you looked at Daniel Bryan last year, because come on, no one saw that coming. No one saw that coming. Jake picked him, but he picked him because he liked him, not because he saw it coming. So again, you can't say there's anybody that has no chance. Sure, you can say, okay, they would never give it to him. But last year, I was saying they would never give it to Daniel Bryan the way he was looking at that time. So he's going with Tyson Kidd. He's been down with that dude forever, so he'll be so happy. I am going with, I'm going to write it down right now, actually. I didn't just realize I didn't write it down. Cody Rhodes. I honestly thought Wade Barrett would be back, and he was my pick a couple months ago before the participants were even chosen. I was picking Wade Barrett. But so if some crazy thing happens and he ends up in the match, I'm picking him. But I don't know if that's going to happen. I doubt that's going to happen. So I'm going with Cody Rhodes. It's kind of reminiscent of The Miz 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago, 2010. Where Miz held the U.S. title for so long. Cody held the IC title for so long. They finally lost it. Lost their rematch with it, and then kind of just went away from it. And then Miz snuck up, won it, cashed it in, was a champ for 6 months. Cody Rhodes has been following that same path. I personally think Cody Rhodes is ready. He always has great matches. His promos are pretty good. He gets a reaction. That's the biggest thing. He gets a reaction. So if he wins, it will get a reaction. Positively or negatively, it'll get, that's one thing he does, is get a reaction. Just look back at Survivor Series at Madison Square Garden. So, like I said, I'm picking Cody. Look forward to him going on, cashing it in at, I don't know. I see him as a guy that probably, I wouldn't be mad if he cashed it in soon, but he could be a guy that I think personally would help him to carry it for a while. But again, if he wants to cash it in quick, I'm all for that because I love Cody Rhodes. But I think it would help him to hold it for a little longer, just to get some more things under his belt that kind of solidify, so he doesn't have to be kind of the Miz, shock and awe, what, he's the champion. It's more okay, Cody Rhodes is a hard dude. He's a gangster, so he can do what he wants. Next match, World Heavyweight Championship match, Sheamus versus Alberto Del Rio. I'm having a hard time with this one. I want Alberto Del Rio to win, and not because I like Alberto Del Rio very much at all. I like him more lately. When he was cutting the promo he cut the racist promo on his own race. That's just a good time. You can't deny that was hilarious. And I actually like what he's been doing lately. Sheamus, on the other hand, I don't. And I want to pick Alberto Del Rio, but I can't. I'm picking Sheamus. Jake is picking Sheamus. but I want Alberto Del Rio to win. So that's what I'll be cheering for. But I don't think it's time yet. WWE is not going to give up that easily. So even though I see Del Rio getting the title sometime, I don't know if I'd say soon, but definitely this year. So, there's a couple months left in the year. So one of these times I see him winning the championship. But not Money in the Bank. I'm sure we'll just do the WWE title match because I think the Raw Money in the Bank ladder match is going to be the main event because it has a certain individual in it. But the WWE Championship match, CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan. AJ is the special guest referee. Jake is not picking Daniel Bryan for the second time ever. Ever. And this is one of those times where I could see him winning because, as I said, I'm not picking him. But if Daniel Bryan is to win it ever, like if Daniel Bryan is to win the WWE title, it has to be now, you would think, because you look back, I don't think when this started at Over the Limit, that was Over the Limit? Yeah, Over the Limit was their first match, and they had the triple threat match and whatever. I don't know if they're going to do 4 straight matches, especially 3 singles one-on-one matches. It's just funny. Last year, Orton and Christian had about this many matches against each other, but everyone freaked out. They got sick of it, but everyone loves these two. I wasn't freaking out like everyone else was when this first happened. I thought, okay, this will be cool, but not this is one of the greatest matches of all time. So I don't know if I'm ready. I don't want CM Punk, Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam. I really don't. And I just don't. It's just too much. But I am picking CM Punk. Jake's picking CM Punk. AJ is obviously going to have something to do with it. She's a special guest referee. So that's a given. But the way Raw ended, why did I remind myself about Raw this week? But, with the double slappage. Double slaps all the time. So it kind of leaves you with a little bit of doubt. But I think in the end, CM Punk will come out on top. So does Jake, obviously. Jake's leads to a higher plot, though. I'm just picking CM Punk because I just don't want that match to be at SummerSlam. It's more wishful thinking on my part because I don't think they would do it again if Punk wins again. But you never know. And again, if it's at SummerSlam, I'm not going to freak out. I'm just saying I personally am done with this after this. But, yeah. He's picking CM Punk. I'll get to Jake's big thing at the end. But the Raw Money in the Bank ladder match, we got Jericho, Cena, Big Show, and Kane. And if you've seen the Money in the Bank promo commercials, Money in the Bank, superstars go for no, and for the first time ever, John Cena. John Cena. It's not like it's a shock that they're advertising him as the big guy. That's never happened, ever. But it's just making it too... I don't even know. It's just making it real obvious. Now, are they doing it? And then all of a sudden it becomes, this is too obvious. Are they making it so obvious because he's going to lose? Or is it they're making it so obvious because it really is that obvious? Kane, do you really think Kane's going to win? Absolutely not. Jericho, he's leaving after SummerSlam. So unless he wins it and cashes it on Punk and we see that again, So it really comes down to Cena and the Big Show. And if you trust reports that have these are from a couple months ago and these changed so quick. At one point it was supposed to be CM Punk versus Tensai at SummerSlam. So, you got to take reports for what they are. That's just rumors, reports. But at one point, it was CM Punk versus the Big Show at SummerSlam. So he could cash in and say, hey, I don't need to cash it in cheap. I'll just fight you at SummerSlam. It could be that. But then I've also heard they want to do CM Punk versus John Cena at SummerSlam. So this would, do something like that the same way. So it really depends on what you want to believe. I don't want to believe the Big Show will win this. Like I said on Raw, I might have sounded kidding. I'm not kidding. John Cena is one of my guys right now. Like, and it is just by everything else around him. Like, everything else, there's some, like, and he's involved in some dumb stuff too. But at least he's involved in some dumb stuff that includes fighting. Like wrestling. You know, he's like fighting some dudes on TV. He's not worried about kissing this girl. You know, oh, he likes her, I like her more. He likes this, and I'm not, you know. So whatever. I won't be mad if Cena wins. It's so obvious. I don't care. I don't want the Big Show to win. I will take John Cena over the Big Show 100 out of 100 times. So that's my pick. That's Jake's pick also. Jake, though, has it like, I'm just picking Cena because of it. But Jake's been thinking about this. Like, he has ideas flowing through his head. What he's saying is CM Punk will retain, and he didn't really specify, but I'm imagining he means this all happens at Money in the Bank. So all this will happen tomorrow, not in like, okay. But he's saying that CM Punk will retain against Daniel Bryan. John Cena will win Money in the Bank. John Cena will cash in on CM Punk to win the title. And then on the 1000th Raw episode, when Rock comes back and challenges for the title, it'll set up him versus Cena at SummerSlam. Because as they had talked, you know, like reports again, like I was saying, back in the day, they had kind of reported that the John Cena versus The Rock would be a trilogy. You know, so they'd fight 3 times throughout, you know, a span of that time, which, you know, could make sense because if it was going to be a trilogy, Cena will obviously win if they had 2 out of 3, like you would imagine so. So that would make sense that The Rock won, you know, in Miami, give them that, and then Cena win the next 2. You know, so that's a thought. But so Jake his picks for these matches include that. So I'm guessing he thinks that Punk and Bryan will be the main event. Cena will win it earlier in the night, cash in on Punk, or at least before The Rock comes back. So either tomorrow or next night's Raw, and then it'll set up him and Rock at SummerSlam. So there you go. Jake's views do not necessarily reach my views, but I did have to share that with you. But that is all for our predictions. Go ahead and subscribe up here if you're seeing us for the first time. Well, you're seeing me for the first time, but it happens. If you're seeing this channel for the first time, go ahead and subscribe if you liked it. Like this video if you liked it. And comment below telling us your predictions for this main event of the evening, Money in the Bank, all 4 matches. Oh, and Hunico and Camacho are going to lose, but we'll be supporting hardcore on YouTube. But, so yeah, tell us what you think is going to happen. All the matches. Since there's only 4, if you want to be like Jake and come up with some grander scheme, we're down to read those too. But this is the Trio of Woe Show. We will see you tomorrow for Money in the Bank. Have a good day.